Yeah, our next match for today is a loser qualification round. Match between Alessio Bonansinga from Italy. And he will be facing Aymeric Luno. Hopefully I got the names right. From France. Not too known with both players, so I'm definitely looking forward to get to know them better and see how great this matchup can be. Myself, Tim de Ruyter in the booth, trying to go over all the shots. We'll see if I succeed. Yeah, just a pleasure to be here. As you see, at the Predator Epbf European Pool Championships. We've had the men, women, wheelchair, under 23 earlier this year. This is the youth version, and then I was wondering we might have a seniors as well near the end of the year. I know there will always be a seniors organized. So let's see if they are going to show the senior talent as well. Now let's go back to this match. Bonansinga, who won the leg, broke the balls, made one on the break. And first look at the table. Looks to be quite decent. Could go either way, but the stripes, the first shot, a little easier. Chose to play a full length combination. Just gotta make sure that 15, you need to get rid of the 15 as soon as possible, and it's not very easy to get the shape on the 11-12. So I might play really thin on the 14 now, trying to get on the 11-12. Yeah, might have gotten a little straight on the 11, but it's okay. If he draws straight back, he can still use the angle on the 12 to go into the long rail and out for shape on either the 15 or the 10. Most of the time when you play a stop shot, when you have to get perfect, in this case for the other corner, you leave yourself that slight annoying angle. Okay, well, nicely managed. Realized that he had a shot on the 15. Killed the cue ball nicely to get on the 12, so he's back on track. Of course, both players, they really have to get used to the setting. Like all juniors, it's not always easy to play in a big arena. Cameras there, because the Pro Billiard Series are hosting it, of course. Big reach, so you know a lot of people worldwide will be able to see you. But it is Bonansinga who starts off the match with a breaker run. Very nicely done. And it will be the first time for me to see a Luno. So let's see what he can do on the break. Well, has slid one in, quite the overcut on the break, so we'll definitely be looking for a more square hit on the break next time. And is now facing, I mean, it is open, so it's not horrible, but we'll need a couple good positional shots. I do like the stripes. A little better than the solids. He's going over the solids. It's just the shape on the 8 for the solids and the 1. Possibly could shoot the 7 off the 9 to open up the side pocket for the 1. And there's not really any ball near the side pocket that he can use to get to the left side of the 8. So I'm still curious to see how he's gonna solve that. Yeah, this match to get through to the last 32 under 19 players. Change of route. I mean, I don't mind playing the 4 and drawing in between, let's say, the 3 and the 12 ball. The red 3 ball, pink striped 12 ball. But he's queuing also over the 13, so he's feeling a little bit risky. Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as I knew, the 1 ball was not available. So first mistake from Luno and Bonasinga at the table. Looking to make quick work of the 9. Doesn't have to shoot it right away. Could play a shape later on as well. Gave himself a chance to miss early there. Could have hit maybe a couple balls. And tried to get a little straighter on the 9. Still, Luno does have to get on the 8. Nice angle on the 3 ball to cross over. Just gotta make sure he doesn't leave himself too much angle on the 4. Would be nice to be straighter. Was trying to be straighter. Because he realized he has to shoot the 8 in the left side pocket. That's his only chance from here. After doing a little bit of research and texting a good friend of mine who lives in France, I figured out how to say the Frenchman's name here at the table, Aymeric Luno. So glad I figured that one out because I butchered it in the intro, of course. My apologies to him, of course, as well. Now, this 8 to tie the score at 1. Oh, yeah, it's just always a tricky shot to shoot from there. So, 2 mistakes in 1 game. Not a great start for a Frenchman. An early chance for Bonasinga to steal the rack still. Oh. Wow. Quite surprising, but he had to play with a lot of spin. And I think the ball just caught a little bit throw. So now the bank shot. No. Yeah, slightly awkward queuing by the 12. And if Aymeric comes back to the table, That would mean the 8 is now being blocked in the corner, which, sure, it's not impossible to make the 8 following the 10, but it's definitely one that can be tough. Oh, well, lost the cue ball a bit there. And I'm not a big fan of shooting the 9 or the 12 from here, so you just gotta play the combination, make sure that the 14 doesn't tie up with the 8. Yeah, perfect. Just have a very short stroke, a little bit punchy, so that means if he plays with the outside spin, with that punchy stroke, it does mean the ball will curve a lot more. Yeah, gotta say, a little bit of a scrappy second rack. Both players not running out twice, but it is Bonansinga who doubles the lead. 2-0 now. As you see, table 2 also in action. My good friend and colleague, he told me to name him the UK legend, so let's just stick with that. No, just joking. Graham Hickman doing the commentary on that match. I believe it's Dalu, and what was it? My Badovinac, yeah. It's interesting. I'm so not familiar with most of the junior players. Only the ones that have played a Euro Tour or maybe some bigger event here and there. Besides that, not really too much. Yeah, nice break there actually. But actually a worse result than he had the first rack. If you look at the 14-1, the yellow 1 ball I don't think does go to the side. And he's a little bit triggered, a little bit forced to shoot the stripes here. Oh, and he's missed his first shot. It was awkward cueing though. You could see it on him, his expressions afterwards too. He just going around with those hands really shows me that he felt like, why so awkward, you know? Can definitely relate. We've all been there. So, Emerick Luno at the table. Well, he did get the opportunity to go for the solids because he could start with a different one. He's going to play, or was going to try for an angle on the 7. Yeah, he still does have a small angle. The problem is going into the 1, it's going to be very tough to have a shot afterwards. As you see, the 1 is blocked to either corner. So that means he has to cut the 6 now. Go back and forth. Get a shot on the 3 ball. And then move all the way up table to play the 1 still on the side and get to the 8. Which, oh, I made that sound very easy. Trust me. Oh, just barely flicked off the 15. That was actually very close. He made a good shot there. Just barely nudged the 15 to where he did not land on the 3 ball. So he's now playing the safety. The only bad news I have for him is the fact that he's got 2 solids against 7 stripes, technically. So Bonansinga does have plenty of time. Just got to make sure he hits the 15 and doesn't give ball in hand. Yeah, just like that. Now, Luno doesn't have anything on the 1 to develop. Don't even think he might have something aggressive on the 3 ball. I think the 8 is in between on the bank. Well, I'm quite sure the 8 is in between on the bank. And the worst thing is these kind of shots, they're just not developing as much. Technically, he's just hoping for Bonansinga to shoot the 10 and not make it. But it's one good shot and he will be pretty much in the open. Just a 14 is a little tougher. Yeah, I don't understand why he would play at that pace too. Like, even if there is a little bit of dirt on the table, like a piece of chalk or any kind of dirt that could make the cue ball squat left or right. So a little bit of a let off from Bonansinga. Oh, no, no, no. Came up too short. Had to draw. I would probably have drawn it into the long rail and out, just to make sure I get over enough. Yeah, and especially on the last ball, playing 8 ball, that mistake. I mean, I always say you're not supposed to win the rack still if you miss your last ball before the 8 or the 8. And that just mainly has to do with, well, all the option your opponent has, all the space on the table your opponent has, and also all the options where they could still play safe, always, because they have so many more balls on the table. Yeah, landed a little bit in between though. I'm not gonna say all shots are tough, but I definitely liked to shoot the 15 out. Probably was one of the easier shots. But now both actually a little bit of bigger shots. Now just get the cue ball to the center of the table. Don't try to get straight. Yeah, nicely done. Now if you feel like killing the cue ball is a little bit scary, scared to miss the ball, hang the ball, because it's a different kind of stroke. You could play the 8 in the left side pocket, just putting a little bit more stroke into it. You see, most of the time when killing the cue ball, the long rail, that's where the object ball goes. And, well, he almost missed it. But he didn't. And he's now 3-0 up. And I have to say, with a little bit of help from Aramith Luno, uh-oh. It's not the first time where he's got the break a little bit off. Now there is like 13 balls on the right side of the table. So definitely some difficulty. Can he navigate the cue ball nicely around? That's the question. Yeah, had to hold the cue ball. That's one thing, you don't really see that often in rotation pool, because they can just keep moving the cue ball around. But in 8 ball, if you have to do less movement with the cue ball, that's where people are going to hit shots thicker to hold the cue ball, or hit them thinner to run the cue ball more. And that's where mistakes come from, where the missed balls come from. And still, I mean, this is really not a gimme. It's a little bit of a difficult layout. Is he going to try and bump the 9 out? Well, that's yes. I think he nudged it perfectly. The only thing is, he really did not get much afterwards. Unless the 10 ball might go somewhere, but I don't believe so. Yeah, I like this shot though. I mean, I think he's played a nice shot. Knew that he had to take the 6 out, because he was really not planning on leaving a 4-6 combination cut. And the 10 is now blocking the side. The cue ball is nicely on the rail. And the 4 only goes to the bottom left, which is such a difficult shot. And failing to make any, or even if he plays a safety to the bottom short rail, plenty of combinations available on the 10. Yeah, like I mentioned, I don't really think there was anything of a shot for Bonasinga to play. I think he basically just had to pray from this position. Now he did tie up the 13-9. So I wouldn't be surprised if he uses the 14 to open it up. The only bad news is he's going to push the 9 towards the 2, 3 and 5. So you have to push the 9 ball all the way to the bottom short rail. Yeah, that was the bad news. Now I wish I could bring him a little bit of a good news. Maybe the fact that the 13 does go to the bottom right. So if he gets straight on this, he might still be able to get on the 9. If the 9, does the 9 go to the bottom left, to this corner? Because in that case, I'm always shooting the 13 first, not the 11. 13 trying to get on the 9. Then I'll play whatever kind of positional shape I have to play to get to the 11. He's managing quite alright actually, just slightly too much angle on this 9. I think he might have to bump into a little bit of the 2. There's a difficulty, could land behind the 4 on the 11. Oh, he ran out of time. Actually, if you consider the whole shot clock situation there, he played a nice shot in pocketing the ball. But imagine if he had played it a little softer, he could have really been on the 11. So it was more of a panic stroke. Yeah, in this case, again, you have to go aggressive, bank it to the top left and get the shape on the 8. Oh, he tried to bank to the side pocket. That's so tough. Does the 11 block the 8? It does block the 8. So this rack might not be over yet. Could get pretty awkward around the 8 ball for Bonansinga. Yeah, has missed the 4 quite some bit actually. A little bit of overcut. Then again, I have to cut the 11 in and get on the 8. If he runs into the 3 ball, a lot of bad news could happen. He could be on the scratch too. Oh, he's hit it perfectly thin. That is a great shot there. A little bit more cut on this 8 ball too, but trust me, things could have been way worse. Oh no. Ay, ay, ay. And does he give something? He might have gotten a little bit fortunate to where there's no shot for Bonansinga. But then still, Bonansinga, he could say, oh, let's try kicking at the 4. Well, definitely you can kick at the 4 to where if you make it, you might still be behind the 3 ball. Now, not sure. Well, the jump cue for sure is coming out. Just gotta make sure not to scratch the cue ball somewhere. Could follow the cue ball, could scratch in the side pocket. Obviously have to make it. Yeah, so it is Aymeric Luno who gets his first drag on the board. A little bit of a nervy start for him. Hopefully this really settles him down to where he can come back now in this race to 7. It's alternate break. Yeah, not the squarest of breaks either, but still manages to stay at the table. And whenever you're not hitting it full in the face, most likely the 8 or the balls around the 8 are gonna stay. And you see a cluster happen quite often around that area. So I'm completely with him on the decision that he's made. The only thing is he really had to get on the 3 to open up the 8 and then have the 7 or the 6 as a backup. He's just postponing opening the 8. Well, he can draw back to the center of the table, take the cut on the 3 and just really hope for anything of a roll. Yeah, he cannot reach it either. That's gonna make things more complicated as well. Yeah, even nudged the cluster. But actually, if you consider the fact that he nudged the cluster and that he's missed the 7 and the 3 still in the open position, they still go. Aymeric does have the cluster still with the 15-9. Yeah, what to play? Is he going to play stun left? No, he was playing shape for the 9. He's run too far. He can play a good safety here though. It's actually a full hit. 9 into the 15. Just stun follow the cue ball again into the 9 as it stays pretty much near. Just leave the cue ball behind the 8. Don't try to do too much. I know you're down 3-1, but just stay patient. You can play this game playing 8 ball. And he went aggressive on making the 15, and he might have gotten himself in big trouble. This is a very awkward stroke. Quite some cut. Difficult to judge, so close to the ball. And if you don't make it, the 3 and the 7 are near. But if you can do that, then I would say do that. I mean, that's... Gotta say, things really worked out there for him. Came up with a couple difficult shots in a row. He's shooting now the 8 to the corner. Yeah, I was gonna say, why shoot the 8 to the corner? Shoot the 8 to the side pocket and put the cue ball on the top side of the table. I mean, it's not a gimme. It's a little bit of a cut on the 7, and he still has to do a little bit with the cue ball, but that 8 is just huge. Pull one more back, 3-2, no problem. 4-1, he's facing the same problem as before. Oh. Tough shot. Top right corner. Gonna try and play the in-between speed, not float it, because it's a scary stroke, but not hit it too firm. I still want it to drop if I hit it maybe a little bit off. Oh, he just said, let me just rip it in. What a shot there from Bonasinga on the 3 ball. And he takes the 5th rack. Now 4-1. And it looks like Aymeric Luno has had enough of it. He's gonna take a little time out. So that means I'm gonna go for a little break as well. And we'll be right back after a couple minutes. In the meantime, keep an eye out on table 1. Between the local favorite from Slovenia, my Badovinac, and he's facing Dalu from Norway. So keep an eye out on that, and we'll be right back. So Luno is back, and that means we are back in this exciting loser qualification match between Italy's Alessio Bonansinga and from France, Aymeric Luno. Gotta say the solids pretty nicely, just the 8. The 8 might only go to the bottom right corner and might even be blocked. So some work on the 8. But definitely for stripes, the 10 ball is blocked by the 7. And not easy to solve. So is he going... Could have chosen actually to take a risk and run into the 12 with a lot of speed. Because it would open up the 8. You have the 3 ball over the corner. The 4 is near and the 5 is near. So some good things could have happened. Was straight away trying to get the angle on the 5 to open up the 8. Now don't forget, of course, both these players are under a lot of pressure. For juniors in general, this championship is possibly the biggest thing on their yearly calendar. They play tournaments all year to become a better player, to hopefully get a better result on this championship. So there's always a lot of pressure, especially on the ones that expect a lot from themselves. That's also based on my own experience. And then they come over here. They lost maybe to someone that played their heads off. And then now they're in the loser qualification. The shot clock is on them. Because it's not shot clock on all the tables, just on the TV tables. Now suddenly the shot clock is on there. He has to play faster, playing 8 ball. And you start to struggle. And that's where so many questions start to get into your head. He does get on the 5. I'm just wondering how much can he do to get on the 8? Does he have to settle for a bank shot possibly? Yeah, I think he's playing for bank. Yeah, there it is. He just felt like nothing well could happen if he had run into it. So this bank for 4-2. It's close. Nice shot there, Aymeric Luno. Nice shot. Comes up with a breaker run. So definitely a good timeout. Took his timeout, came back, broke and made 2 balls and ran out a very difficult layout with an incredible bank on the 8. Score now 4-2. Yeah, and as you can see, that timeout could be a very clever one. This is an open opportunity after a mistake from Bonansinga. 7-1-5. Just gotta make sure you get something on the 2. possibly straight enough on the 2 to not run into the 15 in the bottom left. You don't want to be pushing the 15 near the 6. So there's a little bit of a risk there. Yeah, so now the early part of the rack, not too challenging. Well, he might be even better off to play the 2 slightly off the 12 and draw the cue ball back maybe a ball or 2. If you make the 2 ball directly, I'm just worried about the 15, the brown striped 15 next to it. Yeah, glad to see him play it with that pace. The only bad news for him is that the 12, the pink stripe, is now blocking the 8 also to a corner, so has to play for the 8 in the side pocket. I mean, of course, doesn't have to, but I would say it's the easiest. And he's left himself straight on the 8. This would be quite some mental power, honestly. Because he would break a run and make a clearance on Bonasinga's break. This 8 to tie or to pull one back. Yeah, there it is, 4-3 now. Might be a good moment for Bonasinga to take a timeout because the rhythm is completely with Aymeric Luno. That could be trouble. Yeah, it's like I see a completely different player at the table. If you consider being down 4-1, Luno kind of felt like nothing really was going his way. He was making a couple, well, quite alright mistakes. I mean, quite possible shots and just unforced errors all over. To then now break a run out. Makes a ball on the break. And this is, again, this is runnable as well. This is a massive chance. Yeah, had a little bit of options there, but with the cue ball being on the rail, has to shoot the 9. 13 does go to the bottom right, but ideally would like to be a little straighter where the cue ball is now. That would be ideal, because you don't want to leave yourself the angle on the 13 to bump the 4. That would not be ideal by any means. Yeah, slightly more cut on the 8. Can imagine the nerves starting to grow bigger and bigger within himself. Was down 4-1. Can he pull this back 4 each? That would be a brilliant comeback. Oh, and he's missed the 8. Oh no. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not on either one of these players' side, but I love to see a close match. And I think it would have gotten Emmerich right back into this match. So that means now Bonansinga with a great chance to extend his lead again, and surely would like to keep a little bit of distance. You kind of need that backup if you're playing 8-ball alternate break. You never know when that one dry break is going to come up. Yeah, 2-rail shape, possibly 3-rail shape to get to the 8. Now with the bridge, not always my favorite shot. I'd rather put an extension on my cue. If he has one, that's always a question. I mean, these young players, most of the time their financial situation might be in the way. And look at this, he's missed the 4 and blocking the corner pocket on the 8. Basically forcing Emmerich to cut the 8 in the bottom left. Or even more wild, a bank shot by the corner. This is still to tie the score at 4 though. Wow, what a shot on the 8. Excellent cueing. For a second really thought he might have to play maybe the 8 onto the 4 and draw the cue ball, safety in mind, but he went aggressive and he made it happen. Oh, I think Emmerich pressed the wrong button there on the scoring. Score now 4 each, not 5-3. Been there before though, to where I actually thought I was so going to lose that rack, and then I still won it, and I by accident pressed it to his score. Yeah, Emmerich just getting a cup of water, as you see on the other table. Score now 3-2. My Barovinac up against Dalø from Norway. I might have to get some glasses because I couldn't read it the best, but definitely a close match on that table too. I mean, don't forget, like I mentioned before, these junior championships, they mean so much to these players. Like, I don't really think most of the people have any clue how important. Like, it's a week full of emotions. Now a dry break from Bonansinga, but what a messy one. And only has something aggressive on the stripe, so he's kind of being forced to go for stripes, which is not a horrible thing. But it's more about if you seem to miss your first stripe, you're most likely to give your opponent the opportunity to choose either stripes or solids with a way better position. Good news is he does have something on the 13 to open up the 11-8, but he chose to, well, basically leave the initiative with Bonansinga. Could have done it maybe a little bit more with the cue ball towards the short rail. Left him quite straight on the 12. Bonansinga could make the 12, open up the 8. But we might see a couple safeties first. No, he is going aggressive. I was going to say, I don't mind even playing safe on this as well. Well, the big question is going to be, does he... No, he doesn't have the 6. He doesn't have the 5 to the bottom left. Needs to do something very soon. Needs to open the balls. Yeah, this cannon did not work out so well. He still has the 1 ball to the corner, but the 5 or the 6 really did not open that great. So his percentages have dropped quite a bit. Yeah, so trying to open up the 5-6 and he's missed the 4. But then still, if you look at how he had landed on the 5 or 6, just really did not open up anyhow. Wow, this rack, this could be one of the scrappiest racks I've seen in a long time. If you look at 3 stripes on the left, but now the 8 is with it. There's no bank shot on the 8, only a kick shot on the 8. Oh, and he played for the 5. He's lost the cue ball. I mean, either way, we will see a couple innings from both sides. I see nobody really getting this out unless they get the perfect angle to smash all the balls open. Which at least Luno doesn't have that at this point, so maybe Bonansinga soon. Yeah, I would not even mess with this. Because, okay, he does get the save. It's actually, in some way, it's kind of funny how the 9 ball landed exactly in the same spot. But the worst thing is, he was in general going to open up the 8. And not really his balls on the left long rail. So, in some ways, I would say it's kind of good news for Bonansinga that he locked the 8 ball back up again. Oh. Yeah, we could have a long rack here. Because Bonansinga, in case he wants to, he could just keep playing safe. Yeah, I was trying to open the balls actually more. Then again, Bonansinga left Luno a little bit of a chance, not just to run out. Oh! Yeah, I was trying to land on the rail, as you could see on point. I was gonna say, not only has he left an opportunity to go aggressive, the 10 and the 9 are a big problem for Bonansinga. So that means if Emmerich can push the 5 over some pocket, that means he might get some advantage out of this rack. Oh, look at this. Does he get on the 8? Does he get on the 8? Well, I don't think I have to explain to everybody that's watching that he's not on the 8. But that was an unbelievable cut. The thing is too, if you look at the score being 4 each, this is like the point in the match where both players have had enough table time. They know that if they make a huge mistake in this rack, now suddenly the opponent breaks and runs or makes a nice clearance, that they could be down 6-4 and technically made one important mistake, and that's on this scoreline. Like, this is where that maybe 5 or 10 minutes of momentum and good play can still win you the match, even though you struggled for an hour and 15 minutes. Well, he has missed the 8. Yeah, I kind of was expecting him to play this kind of style earlier in the racks. Like, maybe a couple shots before. Yeah, close, but no hit on the 8. Well, he's still playing aggressive though. Has opened up the 9. This is now a chance to take the lead back. Was up 4-1. Desperately needs to regain his confidence. Yeah, so after a big grind this rack, it is the Italian who takes the lead back. 5-4 up now. Will be Luno breaking though, so we could still be in for a long match. We could be in for a match that could go all the way. And how nice would that be in a loser qualification match? Now, just thinking, I have a feeling Bonansinga took his time out now. So in the meantime, while Luno is racking the balls, I'm just going to take a little break as well. And then I'll be right back to close out the match together with you all. I'll see you soon. Well, I'm sure that wasn't the longest of waits. Both players are ready. This is the last part of this loser qualification match. Race to 7 between Alessio Bonansinga and Emeric Luno. Score now 5-4. Bonansinga. And a dry break from Emeric, who really got to break quite a bit there. So, just wondering if Bonansinga could play a 3-13 combination and possibly open up the 9. All chose to just pocket the 13. What is he planning on the 9? Oh, as you can see, he's looking to leave himself a cut on the 9. Then the next question is going to be, does the 11 ball go to the top right corner behind the 1 ball? That could be pretty risky. I mean, I don't think he's got the full corner on that. And he's missed the 9. And that shot could cost him the whole rack, because now things have shaped up nicely. It's open. The 2 and the 7 are now available. So I'm probably going to take the 1 and get to the bottom side of the table. Leave the 6, possibly to go to the 8. Don't forget the immense pressure that's on these players. You know, to play just an individual tournament, to place well, sure, I mean, I'm quite sure these young players have done that before. But they're also now representing their country, which is such a different story. You know, there's so many people from your country following you, trying to support you. Maybe they have helped you out with preparations, maybe even helped you out getting you there financially, or maybe literally driving you there. So there is so much more support, there's so much more happening on the background, and that could deliver quite some pressure on the player. You don't want to leave your family down, or your friends, or, well, yeah, I should say friends. If they've helped you out to go to the European Championships, I would say it's a friendly thing to do. Oh, he's missed the 2. Yeah, I felt like he was trying to play to the 6, and I just don't see why. Just because he was trying to bring the cue ball to the 6, that's why he had to overcut the 2. He had too much angle, so he had to cheat the angle on the 2 to get there. This is just experience, not recognizing the angle. Just like he really doesn't have to shoot the 11 ball on this. But he did, and he made it. And when they make the ball, they're always right. That's how the saying goes. Of course, with a little wink, it's not exactly like that, but in the end, it's the one that makes the most balls that wins the match. So now a chance to get himself on the hill. 1 foot in the last 32. Last 32, single elimination stage. Doesn't want to run too far. I think he's landed perfect on this 9. Maybe a drip of inside spin to play the 8 in the bottom left, but he's not too far away from the 9. Well, he's looking like things are tight. If it's tight, you can play some right spin. The right spin is going to throw the 9 ball a little bit more towards the right long rail, towards the open side of the pocket. So if he doubts it, could play with the inside or the outside. But as you can see, it was still fine to play the inside spin. So looks like Alessio Bonansinga is now on the 8. And he does get this match on the hill first. He has arrived on the hill, Alessio Bonansinga. 6-4 now. What a match we've seen. Now we still have plenty more of action to come later today, so make sure to stay tuned on all our channels. We do have some more loser qualification matches in the under 17. Last 32 matches. I do think we play all the way. Yeah, we play all the way to the quarterfinals. So last 32 and last 16 will be played today. So by the end of today, we will know our quarterfinalist in the European Junior Championships 8-ball. Well, are we still going to see Aymeric Luno back at the table? That's what I'm wondering. One ball has gone in. Also not the perfect break from Bonansinga, but as long as you stay at the table, it's something. Looks like he's going for stripes. Oh, he might have landed on nothing. Does a 12 maybe still go to the bottom right? No, I wouldn't think so. So the answer is yes. We will see Luno back at the table unless Bonansinga makes a crazy 12-13. The orange stripe in the bottom left corner. Oh, nice shot there, but not out of the woods yet. Look at him queuing over the 4. Awkward stuff, but definitely a great shot he's made there. Yeah, what a turnaround still. I mean, sure, all the pressure is on Luno. He knows that any mistake could be fatal. Did already complete the comeback, coming back from 4-1 down to 4 each. Needs a little bit more of a comeback this match. Does he have the angle on the 1 to open up the 4? I don't think so. What is his plan? Looks like he's more worried about the 3-6-5 than that 4 ball. You could see, oh, what did he play there? There was no stun or left spin on the ball to get to the 2. Oh, well. I mean, I'm not a big fan, but I do believe cutting the 3 ball gives you a better shape on the 2 and the 4 than cutting the 2. How are you going to get on the 4 afterwards? Yeah, I was just going to say, turning up the heat for Bonansinga, who was waving with the paper, just probably the temperature in Slovenia being quite high at the moment. Yeah, it's a solid 30 degrees Celsius there in Slovenia, so must be very hot out. Yeah, played a very nice cut on the 3 to then miss the 4. Look at this. What has he done there? Now 3 balls remaining from entering the last 32. Alessio Bonansinga facing the 12 ball to the top left corner. And then straight draw on the 15. And straight on the 8. So it is Alessio Bonansinga who enters the last single elimination stage. Unfortunately, Luno, this is the end of the road in the 8-ball discipline. He still has the 9-ball to come. Hopefully he can get himself going in the 9-ball. So hopefully I get to see him play later on. So thank you everybody for tuning in with me for this match. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Hopefully everybody enjoyed me being in the commentary booth, Tim de Ruyter. And I would love to welcome you back at 4:15 local Slovenian time for possible either loser qualification in the under 17 or the last 32 in the under 19. So hopefully I'll see you then. Be there or be square.